So recently a girlfriend and I were catching up and we were talking about our experiences with men, specifically being the first person to reach out to a man or hit up a man first. This conversation was very timely considering I've kind of been doing a deep dive on the divine masculine versus the divine feminine. I'm always studying something, child. Please watch to the end, especially if you are homosexual. I am breaking down masculine and feminine as it relates to the gay community. I've been wanting to talk about this for a fucking hot minute. So over the course of probably over a damn year now, the universe has been telling me to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. And not only that, but my guys have been telling me that this romantic partner that I'm wanting so badly that I will not be having to approach them. That I will be approached. This is kind of a hard pill to swallow for me because I've never been scary of approaching a nigga. I've never had a problem speaking first. I've never had a problem reaching out first. I've never had a problem double texting. Now, I don't think that any of those are inherently problems. However, for me specifically, I'm learning and realizing, especially this past year, where my masculine and feminine energies lie. I've always considered myself being very versatile, if you will, in my masculine and feminine energy, and I still think that. However, one thing that I've been realizing, and probably my homegirl realized in real time about herself, is that we naturally sit in our divine feminine in a romantic situation more than we were maybe willing to give credit to. More on that later, but I do believe that as a society, that if we were more conscious about when we were emitting masculine and feminine energy and when it is natural for us to emit such energy, we would be a little bit better off interacting with each other. The extremely ignorant, patriarchal, negative, non-true meaning of what masculine versus feminine means is volatile. I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but assigning masculine or feminine to a sex or a gender is extremely limiting when really everyone on this planet should be working to equal out their masculine and feminine energy as much as possible because they are both innate within us. And so all we're doing, if we're not trying to balance them, is suppressing them, which leads to the calamity that we're in now. Really quickly, I want to go over a few heterosexual examples and then I'm going to get into the gay shit. In the simplest terms, masculine energy is doing, feminine energy is being. With that said, I find it really funny that the patriarchy really only wants to suppress the masculine energy within womanhood whenever it's convenient and whenever it does not threaten the patriarchy. When we look at all the single mothers of the world or mothers in whole relationships that are doing everything for their kid. They are feeding their child, they are bathing their child, they are taking their child where they need to go. They are researching things for their child. They are supporting their child. They are talking to their child. This is a lot of doing. This is masculine energy. Being a nurturing parent for your child does not equate to doing everything for them. Let's just go over some masculine and feminine things in society that we may not realize are, oh, that's masculine, oh, that's feminine. This turns into a bigger problem considering that we are really in a masculine-based society in 2025 here in the United States. Hustle culture is a very masculine ideology. So while that mother is trying to, raise the fuck out of her kids, the father is, busy at work, emitting masculine energy, but the mother is also probably busting her ass at work, emitting masculine energy. And so now everyone is just emitting masculine energy, and it's just a lot of masculine energy. Like, do you see where I'm going? When really there should be a clear mix of energy. For example, me rolling out an EP or something, me planning when I'm going to release it, me planning when this is going to be created, when I'm going to post this content, when I'm going to create that content. That is all masculine energy. But it takes feminine energy to even get the shit started. It takes feminine energy being with myself, realizing, okay, what do we even want this to be about? What is going on in my being right now? Sometimes I won't even write a song because I know that things have not happened to me yet. I'll have an idea for a song or a project, but I'll be like, I know I'm not ready to write this yet because I know that things are still going to happen to me that I then want to write about, for this particular subject. I was watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta and Eva Marcel was telling us how she met her man. She was talking about how they were at an event and she saw her man and he looked good in his taupe suit. She went up to him, no won't do, no won't. When it comes to that aspect of Eva Marcel's psyche, she rests in her divine masculine, and there is nothing wrong with that. I was also watching the new episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Lisa Barlow was talking about her and her man and how they were getting into it and an update on their relationship. And then I realized she is a divine masculine. Divine. She is a masculine. But her husband is a divine feminine. I remember now earlier in the series, seasons ago, when her husband, I think John, was asking her, Lisa, please, like, chill out. Let's sit down. Let's just be. And Lisa's like, work. We got to do. Get money. And by Lisa's masculine energy not being able to meet John's feminine energy, they are at odds. I did an even closer look and found out that Lisa Barlow is a Sagittarius, a masculine sign, and that John is a Scorpio, a feminine sign. Now, Lisa has a ton of feminine attributes, just as John has a ton of masculine attributes. Your sun sign does not dictate your overall masculine or feminine where you lie. However, knowing that and knowing maybe what your moon is in, maybe what your Venus, what your Mercury, what your Mars is in, can just help you lead to overall better understanding. Side note for those who believe in reincarnation, it is believed that we have to incarnate as a man a certain number of times or master a certain level of consciousness as a man before we can then reincarnate as a woman. Do with that what you will. I realize that I have a very feminine way of talking, and I don't mean my accent. I think everything that I say is necessary, and it kinda fucking is. But I've spoken to and been told by, especially a lot of men, they really don't appreciate the way that I talk, that I speak with maybe too much color. I make too much of an emphasis on something. I include too much context, too much subtext. There is a shit ton of unregulated masculine energy in the gay community. And I'm going to speak for the guys mainly for now. So earlier I was talking about how I sit in my divine feminine, especially in terms of when it comes to being approached by someone else or initiating a interaction. So yeah, even if you are seeking for dick, that is a masculine trait. It's true. Seeking is a masculine trait. In the height of my hoe days, which wasn't that long ago, when I was in the game, I realized that a lot of other guys had it a lot easier for some magical reason getting and completing, their rendezvous. Now, it wasn't a matter of looks, clearly. It's all a matter of energy, and energy doesn't lie. And a lot of gay guys, not that they love the competition, but subconsciously, they compete. And competing is a masculine trait. And in practice, in this sense especially, it's a negative trait, because we really shouldn't be in competition. I'm going to speak for the bottom community really quickly, and as the verse king, I know all areas. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there are a very small amount of conscious bottoms in the community that fraternize with other bottoms in a healthy way. Look, a lot of gay men especially have had really contentious upbringings. We're used to doing a lot of doing. Whether at the end of the day we're receiving or not, you are willing to do a lot of doing to get there. You know what I mean? We have a lot of masculine energy in the community. A lot of wounded masculine energy in the community. I think that if a lot of wounded masculines in the community took a moment to stop doing and be a little bit more, they might realize that they might want to do in a different way. Hallelujah. I remember a couple years ago, I think it was on Twitter, there was some discourse, mama, when this gay guy quoted some tweet talking about, oh, when is it going to be my turn to get those flowers? And then another guy quoted talking about, you do it. Why don't you do that? And there was so much backlash. Oh my God. And the backlash was evidence that there's a problem in the community, because there's already so much pent-up masculine energy in the community from tops and bottoms alike. What if we alchemize that into something that was constructive, something that was giving? Because let's go over positive attributes for the divine masculine. Positive attributes, and it took me a while to figure these out. Positive attributes include upholding values, honoring, acting with attention, celebrating. Y'all think that we're doing a celebration because we do the pride events. We're not celebrating shit, mama. And giving. When I brainstorm, what is the gay community missing? We're missing holding up values. We're missing truly honoring and celebrating each other. We're missing really giving to each other. Like, and I'm not talking about sex right now, I'm not getting into that. However, I do firmly believe that if we integrated some of these perspectives, even just a little bit, it would do wonders for a gay man's individual expansion. You might fuck around and realize that you want to and can do something that you might not have done before. I'm gonna leave it at that. And inadvertently expanding your individual consciousness raises the collective consciousness of the community. And before you know it, the need to see each other as competitors has decreased by so much, and the room to love each other has increased dramatically. So for my gay community, I do challenge you to jump out of your pseudo-feminine energy, jump into your divine feminine, just be, and you might find yourself doing more for yourself and for others in a positive way.